Hello, I am Kelly, and this is Isolation Protocol Day, I just looked it up, Day 193. Pardon my horrible hair. I have been outside all afternoon, trimming the tree that is right outside this window here, so hopefully I will start getting some more light in here. It was very overgrown and crowding the driveway, not like I use the driveway very often, but often enough that I need to trim that tree. So the neighbor trimmed the tree that's on the other side of a driveway. We have a shared driveway, and the trees had grown like this. So yeah, she removed her tree because it was a very large tree and right up against her house. But I've got a camellia bush, a rose bush, and a lemon tree, and that lemon tree is getting way too overgrown. So I've been trimming the lemon tree. I'm looking forward to having some more light, although fewer lemons, because this is the wrong time of year to trim lemon trees, but it needed it. So I'm also wearing my St. Patrick's Day t-shirt, which I did not get to wear this year because this year St. Patrick's Day was the day that the isolation protocols were in effect. So yeah, didn't get to go to the St. Patrick's Day party I had planned. What else? Yeah, it's been a while. A lot of stuff has been going on. I threw my hip out and am starting to, yeah, you can tell by about trimming a tree, I'm starting to feel a little bit better. I was able to work on that tree for probably about a good 20 minutes before my hip and knee were in so much pain I couldn't do any more. So it's going to take about um, two more tries to get the tree trimmed as back as it needs to be. So about 2 or 3 more days maybe. Uh, let's see, what else? I have set up for NaNoWriMo and was looking at the NaNoWriMo prep live, oh, I'm going to sneeze, live video. I stirred up a lot of dust trimming that tree, a lot of dust and pollen. So I was watching the live NaNoWriMo prep session that they had on YouTube and did a couple of the exercises. And I'd already been thinking about not doing the story that I had already planned to do, just not feeling it. There is a story, an idea that I've had been tossing around for a couple of years. Twice now I have attempted to write it and not been able to do more than a few thousand words. Was just having a really hard time finding the focus of the story. So I figured, let me try that one more time. So during the nano prep, did a couple of the exercises that they had and realized that the main character of the story is not who I thought it was. So I'm going to still tell it from the point of view of the 11-year-old girl, but the main character of the story is not the girl. It's not going to really focus on the girl. It's going to focus on the innkeeper who lives just basically across the road. The girl is the youngest of 9 kids of a weaver and a spinner. In this society, men do the weaving, women do the spinning. Women are not allowed to use things like looms. And the man who's the weaver used to work in the castle. So um, the book is titled Untitled, and I will explain how that happened later. So I have my notes in my phone, which, yeah, I never do. So, but I was using my phone on the YouTube live, and so this is where I was writing my notes in. Okay, so history. Background. A Middle Ages type area. King was murdered by his brother, who then took the throne. He stripped the old king's loyal followers of their titles and had most of them killed. Any who fought back had their entire families killed. One duke did fight back. Actually, one group of them fought back. And so this one duke, the assassination squad went through his castle and killed all of his family members. A nanny escaped with 2 children, a 17-year-old son and an 18-year-old daughter. The eight-year-old daughter. The 8-year-old died of plague several years later, but the older boy and his nanny were hiding in a tavern and working there. The tavern owner eventually died and left the tavern to his apprentice. The story starts about 5 years later. It's focusing on a little girl. She is the youngest in a family of 9. 2 older kids also died in the plague, so there are 7 kids. And she's a bit spoiled and overprotected, and she's not required to work, which kind of pisses off her older sisters. She's got the 3 oldest are sisters, the rest are boys, and then there's her. The sisters are working with the mom doing the spinning. The brothers, they are off in hiding because the new duke, the one who was the member of the assassination squad, has a standing army that goes around attacking other lands, and the king thinks it's great sport, so he doesn't stop it. And so he has his every young man has been conscripted into his military. So the boys in this family are hiding up in the mountains with the sheep, and a group of women who are widows, and they're the shepherdesses. So the boys are hiding up there and taking care of the sheep, and they sneak into town for supplies and stuff, and bring wool for the spinners to spin so the weaver can weave it. So anyhow, so the king had given the land and title to one of the assassination squad, and he and his bastard son terrorized the area with their standing army. One day the son goes into the village and kills the girl's pet chicken. I haven't named the girl yet, but so far I'm calling her Honey. I've got this list of 12 Easter eggs that I hide in most of my stories. All of my stories have at least one. Even the shortest of short stories has at least one. Flash fiction sometimes will have one. Short stories will have 3 or 4. Novellas will have maybe 5 or 6. Novels, I try to get all 12 Easter eggs hidden in it. And one of those is a character named Honey. So I've been calling the girl Honey. I may keep the name. Anyhow, so he kills the girl's pet chicken and then throws it at her and demands that she bring it to the castle and cook it for him, and then laughs that she's going to be the dessert. Well, she is so overprotected and naive that she hasn't got a clue what that means, but everyone in the village who overheard this does know. So the villagers, especially the tavern keeper, try to protect her by doing various things. He keeps coming back trying to figure out why she didn't show up at the castle, and they keep doing different things to protect her. There's a lot of other notes I've got about various different dramatic things that happen, but I don't have a timeline yet. So the actual main character is the tavern keeper, who is the son of the previous duke. And because they were stripped of his title, that's where I get the story, the title of my book as Untitled, which could be confusing, so I'm going to definitely have to come up with a subtitle to go with that. Oops, can't read that anymore. There's also going to be minor magic, like water nymphs and wood sprites involved, and mischievous imps that cause problems, but they like the girl because she loved a chicken, which they thought was really cool. So they will occasionally help the girl as well. So that's as much as I have so far. I mean, I actually have a lot more so far, but that's sort of how I envision the story. It's going to be through the girl's eyes, a story of the tavern keeper and the few townspeople who know who he actually is, including the girl's father, who also had at one point worked in the castle. Now he is crippled because they knew that the Duke's children, two of the Duke's children, escaped. The middle child was caught, and they're looking for the older child, and they beat the girl's father, who is now the weaver. He was the chatelaine. The I have a word for it, and it's on the tip of my tongue. He is the keeper of the castle, basically, so that when the Duke and the Duke's family were not there, he's in charge. He runs everything. He did everything, managed all the finances, all that kind of stuff. So he ran everything. He taught everything he knew to the Duke's son, and continued to do that when the son was in hiding, working in the tavern. So they're very, very close. The tavern keeper, who was the son of the Duke, um, the son of the real Duke, who I need to come up with a name for. Yeah, so he was beaten to the point where basically his legs were broken in several places, and he's now crippled, and all he can do is sit in front of the loom and weave. And he weaves from sunup to sundown without moving from his bench, and then they put him on a wheeled cart and wheel him into the house and put him into bed. And that's his life. Uh, that and teaching everyone, reading, writing, that kind of stuff. So this village is actually a lot more educated than any of the other villages because this guy's got nothing better to do. So people will come to him while he's weaving and he will teach them. Uh, Reading and writing is prohibited in the serf class. What else is in this world? There are several different minor kings and one great king, and this is one of the minor kings who is the uh, evil one. Um, and the great king is very, very old and kind of not quite with it, but refuses to um, give his power over to his sons. And they know what's going on and they try to do things, but he keeps preventing it from happening. So he doesn't want to make waves and he doesn't realize that waves are already being made. So anyhow, that's the gist of the background of the story, but the whole thing is going to be told from the point of view of the 11-year-old girl. So um, she's going to overhear things that she doesn't understand. Uh, she's going to have to do things that she doesn't know why she's doing them, but she eventually puts it together. One of the things that they do that I'm thinking of that I have in one of my notes is that she's going to have to protect her um, from the Duke and the Duke's bastard son. They marry her to the tavern keeper. They figure um, that's the only way to really protect her. They were going to marry her off to the son of the dyer, but the son of the dyer uh, is actually already has a girlfriend. So he didn't want to do it, and he refused to do it. And the Duke said, or the real Duke's son said, we can't force you. I'll take care. I'll do it. And he's twice her age, um, more than twice her age. He at this point in the story, he is 28 years old. I think I had it worked out as 28, and she's almost 12. Um, but he marries her in name only, so yeah, it's he's going to not do anything with her until she comes of age, but she does start working in the tavern and acts in public like a wife would act. Walks with him side by side. Um, they do everything together. So yeah, in public they are married in name, but not in deed. So yeah, that's what that is. So it's kind of clean. It's nothing weird about that. And I just lost my notes. Okay, so I just set it down, and now it is missing. I was going to show off my knitting. What did those dogs do to it? Excuse me. Oh, I've stirred up a lot of dust and pollen and stuff doing the yard work. Wonder Woman. Oh, there it is. Okay, so all I've been doing is knitting socks. I don't know where the first sock is. This is the second sock. The wool is, oh man, sock yarn. Let's see, turn that. Glare. Yeah, sock yarn from ScandinaviU. That is backwards to me, so I'm hoping it's forward to you, but who the heck knows. 75% superwash wool, 25% polyamide, 100 grams, 420 meters. Recommended needle size is 2 to 3. I'm using a 2.5 needle. Let's see what else. Color number 2. Not a heck of a lot of information on the label. Do not dry, do not use chlorine bleach, do not iron, dry cleanable, wash in warm water. Okay, that's it. Alright, so yeah, lots of shades of gray. So I have been calling this my test pattern. This is, the old black and white printers would print a test pattern to calibrate, and it looks an awful lot like this. So yeah, I'm calling this my printer test pattern. What did I do with the other sock? Okay, well, I also had bought many years ago, not many years ago, it just seems like that, but a year and a half ago, went to San Diego and got these yarns. They are absolutely gorgeous. They feel just so wonderful. The yarn is La Jolla, Baah La Jolla, B-A-A-H, La Jolla. And 100% superwash merino, 400 yards, 115 grams. So thicker than the sock yarn, but not quite a DK, not a 3. Recommended needle size 2. I am using a needle size 4 because the 2 was way too dense for what I wanted, and I found a pattern that, where did I get this? I got this at, receipt is still in here, at Needlecraft Cottage, 870 Grand Avenue in San Diego. www.needlecraftcottage.com. So cute, absolutely cute little shop, about a block from the beach, a couple of blocks from the hotel that we were staying in. Just really, really cute little shop. They had a yarn shop crawl the week before, and they would send you around to various different yarn shops in throughout San Diego, and they would give you little prizes. Well, they had a handful of stitch markers left over, and so she threw in a handful of stitch markers, which I do not have handy, but basically they were just the logo of the shop and on like a shrinking plastic kind of thing that had then been shrunk. So they were very, very tiny little things that you could barely see the name of the shop on, but they were cute. Let's see. So I'm doing a shawl that I am not able to pull the picture of the pattern up. I've tried. The picture won't come out. But it starts out knit from one point to the other. I'm already just past the midpoint. And yes, I'm using straight needles, long story there too. But it's knit this way, and then stitches are picked up across this bottom edge in a V shape, and then the rest of the shawl is knit down from that. So it's really a cute pattern. It was a stitch along. I wonder if I can pull it up on my phone. Let's see. Come on. Files. It's called Spring Forth. By Rosemary Hill, or Romi, R-O-M-I. And okay, let's see if this will work. I have my phone plugged in because, oops, all right, that is too bright. Let me turn the brightness down. That shows up better when the brightness is really low. Okay. So it's very, very lacy, and it's done in 2 colors and uses 2 skeins of yarn, which is what I have, in contrasting but coordinating colors. 800 yards, which is what I've got. Uh, size 4 knitting needles, and I realized I had no circular size 4 knitting needles. All I had were tiny double-pointed needles in size 4. I usually don't knit size 4. So I dug through everything I had, could not find a size 4. So I went to Joann's because I know that Michael's knitting needle selection is really, really bad. And Joann's is usually a little bit better. They have 3 different brands. And I went there and checked the whole entire aisle over, all 3 brands, whether it was 16-inch to 36-inch, their size 4 circular knitting needles were gone. Every other knitting needle size, every other brand, but in each brand there were no size 4s except 1 pair of the straight knitting needles in 14 inches. So I'm using 14-inch size 4 straight knitting needles to get started on this while I'm waiting for a circular size 4 to arrive, which, shut up, don't call me when I'm busy, which they said could take 6 weeks. Yeah, thanks a lot, Amazon. I'm in a hurry. I want to finish this. At least I'll get another pair of socks done before then. And it will arrive just about in time for me to be not knitting because I'll be writing for NaNoWriMo. Okay, well, this has been going on way too long, and I have been babbling, and I am tired and hungry from doing all that yard work. And, I need to brush my hair. Ooh, a leaf. Oh, shut up. So, why is my phone giving me messages? Yeah, so I'm done for now. I'm going to try and do a regular schedule for these instead of, I don't feel like it today, I'll do it tomorrow, and then, 10 days goes by. So I'm going to try and do a regular schedule. I'm going to stick with the book stuff on Tuesdays and yarn stuff probably Saturdays. Um, and we'll see how that goes. Um, as for book stuff, I really wanted to get to this, but I'm out of time. Uh, so I will do book stuff. I'll do book stuff on Saturday. Yeah, I'll do a book review. Um, yeah, I'll talk about it now. You're going to have to hang around for a couple minutes longer. I finished Am Mech. What the heck? I finished Am Mech, Mech, by Stevie Collier and Jonathan Yanez. It's a mecha space opera adventure. Oh, come on. Come on, show me the cover. There we go. Let's see if I can get that without too much glare. Am Mech. The cover is absolutely amazing in color. I've got a paper white, which is black and white, by Jonathan Yanez and Stevie Collier. A Metal Fury Book 1. So they're calling it Metal Fury. And these giant robot things are operated by people who are mech operators. And Jack, who pilots a, I'm calling it a jackal, but it's J4CKL. It just looks like the word jackal. Um, and the jackal is pretty much an obsolete piece of equipment, but he loves it. He feels at home in it to the point where he sleeps in it. Um, and he knows every bolt of that thing because he hangs around when the mechanics are working on his jackal. Uh, they do all that. It's got an artificial intelligence built into it, which is another obsolete piece of equipment because it hasn't been upgraded, and it's called an LISA, which he calls, of course, Lisa. And at one point, when the mech is in danger of being destroyed, Lisa uploads herself basically into his spacesuit, and uh, it's an enviro suit, they call it, um, which allows them to survive out in space. Uh, what else? He gets shot 4 times, uh, and his arm and leg, left arm, right leg, are bitten off by a sea monster when he crashes into an ocean, and he is healed by a what he calls a monkey. It's a mechanized um, robot kind of thing made out of nanites, and it looks sort of like a monkey, complete with a tail, but it zips around on one wheel, and it can form itself in anything it wants, and when it finds him, for some reason it decides it likes him, and it forms a leg and an arm for him by going into his body and connecting to his brain so that he can control it just like he would an arm or a leg. The funny thing is that this little nano monkey um, occasionally will leave. So he is like stranded with only one leg and one arm and can't really do anything without the monkey on him, even though he tries. So yeah, it's really fun. He turns out that he is one of these mystic warrior protector type things that um, I don't want to give the rest of the story away, but he meets this mystic warrior, and they end up fighting and teaching him how to use this mystic energy, and then yeah, lots of fun, lots of action, very strong sci-fi. Um, Hardcore sci-fi is what I call it when there's a lot of science and a lot of space stuff, and but at the same time, there's a lot of little funny one-liners. Um, let's see. For example, the planet that they land on is a piece of garbage, literally. It is where everybody dumps garbage. Um, uh, so there's everything on there from broken spaceships to banana peels. And at one point, he trips over something and he looks at it, and it's a can made out of aluminum that used to hold something called a grape Fanta. And he kicks it, not knowing what the heck a grape Fanta was in the first place. The guy's not human, by the way. He's got long, beautiful blue flowing hair, and so yeah. Anyhow, uh, yeah, he doesn't know anything about Earth history, and there's a lot of things that people say that he is completely puzzled by or takes literally instead of um, historically from, and a lot of idioms and old sayings and quotes from ancient Earth history, which is basically current times, and doesn't understand them. So it's a lot of fun with that too. So if you like sci-fi with lots of adventure, you know, like uh, oh, this is too unique. It's not like anything. But if you like sci-fi that's with a irreverent sense of humor, you definitely want to check out I Am Mech by Jonathan Yanez and Stevie Collier. I will see if I can remember to put the link down below. Alrighty, now I'm really out. Okay, I will probably not catch you until next Tuesday because I've got a lot of stuff coming up this weekend. Not that I'm getting out of the house, but I've got Zoom calls and stuff with the family and other stuff scheduled. So, prescriptions I've got to pick up. Oh, and the sun is shining through that blinds now. Yeah, that's why that's why I let the tree grow, because it got so hot in here in the afternoons with that sun shining in. Um, but with winter coming, hopefully, it's going to be 90 degrees next week. With winter coming eventually, I kind of do want the sun shining in the winter. So, yeah, gotta go cut some more tree down, and I will catch you probably next Tuesday for some more bookie stuff. All right, now I'm really out. This is Isolation Protocol, day 193. Uh, yeah, and it is September 25th, and I will see you later. Bye.